Welcome to Parlay Studios. This is Homestand NBA. I'm your host, Noor Zainab, next to Jelani and Justin Pooni. And together, we also make 3 in the Key. So if you ever want to tune into NBA stuff, check out our podcast. It's available everywhere. Apple, Spotify, Google, some Android stuff. I don't know where you guys are.
You name it, we got it.
Absolutely. Justin has said the correct thing for the first time in his life. We are available everywhere. But like
every day I'm right.
That's not true. That's not true. But today we are at homestand. And homestand means the Raptors. And the Raptors mean they are playing the Brooklyn Nets tomorrow. Their old teammate, Mr. Yuta Watanabe, who is currently going off. I'm going to
shooting well.
Knock on wood, touch everything. I know Justin does not want to hear that, but I'm going to say it.
It's a nice story.
He's doing really well. All right, guys, let's clap. Let's clap for Utah. For the Nets, they need it. Tonight, they do play Philly, so that's going to be a massive return for Ben Simmons.
It's a big game.
In
Big
Philly,
game.
we'll see what happens. But whatever happens there means tomorrow they will either be motivated or they will be depressed coming into Toronto. So, guys, right off the bat, are they winning this? I do gotta say, we're not gonna have Pascal Siakam. He's gonna get evaluated for next week. Scotty Barnes currently right now is also day to day with a left ankle sprain.
I would say no.
Oh, it's a no.
I would say no.
Look, they can't. Hey, look, Brooklyn's is not a world-beating team, right? So the Raptors have a chance.
To me, the Raptors are just so beat up.
Yeah,
that's the major factor. I know they played well against Atlanta, but I mean that required a lot from Scotty and stuff like that. And we saw, the
late game blunders, and then
I don't see it. I think the Nets though, on the other side of things, they're gonna be coming off of a back-to-back. Like this is the second game of back-to-back, and a lot of emotion will be in that Sixers game. So
depending on how that game,
it might be a closer game than we expect. Even though the Raptors don't have guys out there, but I do think the Nets.
The way I see it is this: the Raptors game this is where the Raptors could potentially catch the Nets sleeping because everybody's been focusing on this game. With Ben Simmons return to Philly, the emotions are going to be so high. And then, after a big game, you kind of have that emotional letdown. Well, that could be perfect with the Raptors. They could catch
guys might let up.
Brooklyn, emotionally drained, right? Yeah. Now, if Brooklyn wins tonight, it could just totally be a game changer, and they could have all the swagger, and then they could come in here and roll the Raptors too. I can see that happening. But I think with the way Brooklyn's playing, yes, Kyrie's going to be back. And, we'll see how Ben Simmons played. He played well on Sunday.
He did, yeah.
We'll see if he can play well in Philly and how that's going to affect his play going forward. But I expect the Raptors to be kind of, hopefully they play a bit upset from how the game ended on Saturday because that's not how Nick Nurse would want that game to end, especially on a defensive mishap.
Should have won that game. They should have
won that game, right? Yeah. Especially a defensive mishap. I think Nick Nurse will have these guys ready and ready to go. So I think Toronto should win this game, but it wouldn't surprise me if Brooklyn wins as well because the emotional high, if they do win in Philly tonight.
I think a lot of people looked at Toronto's game against the Hawks as obviously it was a letdown, disappointment. I get that part of it, but I like to look at my life as a glass half full. And because of that, I'm like, they had no bench that game, and they kept it in. They were almost gonna push it to double OT. Obviously, Scotty had a lot of mishaps.
But they should have won it in. They should have won it in regulation. They're up by 9 though.
They should have, but then again, Hawks should have never let it get to that.
That is true though.
They never should have. Right? You're playing against the Raptors team on ICU, man. Come on, they barely had anybody out there, and that's the thing with the Raptors, and that's why I like to say I will never say that they're going to come out and outright lose against a team because there will always be a fight. No matter who's out there, no matter who's playing, who's injured, they're going to take that game to the last second. I think they actually play harder when they're missing a guy, which is kind of weird for the Raptors. Yeah, exactly. And speaking of, that just means no Pascal Siakam, at least until next week. Like I said, Scotty currently is also day-to-day. So in their absence.
So my thing is who's going to score?
Yeah, it's going to have to be Freddie and Gary. I'm going to assume Gary and Boucher will be back because of their non-COVID illness for this one. But it's going to have to be a full team effort, in my opinion.
If Gary's back, that would really help matters because it can't just be Fred, right? Fred, I expect, if he's out there, he's gonna produce. But if Gary's out there, I need him to have a 20-plus game. He's gonna have to do something.
But the way I see with Gary Trent Jr. coming up injuries, missed some time, right? He's such a rhythm guy. Yeah. It might take him a game to find that rhythm. So I'm not expecting a lot from Gary Trent. The fact that he's back on the court and he's, he's a good defender. He can, get in the lanes and, tip passes, good steals and stuff like that. That could be beneficial. But offensively, I'm not going to expect much from Gary Trent because he's such a rhythm guy. I would subsequent games following, I'll see him pick it up, but I'm not expecting much from Gary Trent offensively in this game.
Are we going to see Malachi get any minutes in this one?
Hopefully,
I know I would like to see that. I know obviously there is that defensive factor that McNurse is not going to want to put him on for, but right now you are down, guys. You're against
you might as well.
He might
as well, right?
You know what? Like I think we mentioned before, like with Malachi, the offensive skill set is there. He can get off tough shots. We've seen him hit these shots before, and he's able to handle.
I feel
like
he needs more minutes.
Of course, I think he needs more minutes.
Development to be on the court.
But I just think he's not. He's been in Nick Nurse's doghouse for so long that I'm afraid he might become expendable, and then you might see him get an opportunity elsewhere,
and he'll shine,
and he'll flourish.
That's
right?
what happened with former Raptors have done that. It happens all the time, right? They probably fall down the pecking order, and then they go somewhere else and shine.
It's happened. Where he has fouling trouble. I understand the defensive lackluster of that too, but I think when you're looking at a team that has their point guard running into the ground every single night, and then you see Malachi. He played really well this past weekend against the Hawks, right? So seeing that kind of rhythm, I think he deserves to have a shot. And if you want a guy to grow, he has to get consistent minutes at that point as well.
And that's the Raptors. I think they're one of the flaws from the offseason was they didn't address that backup point guard position.
They have to.
And they have to. You look at it across the NBA, look, Phoenix has got Cam Payne who stepped up, who's a very good backup point guard. You have Spencer Dinwiddie, you have all that stuff, right? So when I look at the Raptors and I look at how they're going to the longevity towards this season, I want to see them address that backup point guard spot because, like Noor mentioned, you can't be running Fred VanVleet 40 minutes.
And that's where
game,
Malachi
right?
comes in. You give him some reps, see what he gives you, right?
But if he's
if
he's not Nick Nurse's guy, then
do you think a deal should be made for
I think
a
so.
guy?
I think they should go out and get a backup point guard.
But it depends who's out there, though.
I don't know, like a Derrick Rose. Right?
Yeah.
I would like that.
I don't
know
if New York's gonna part ways with.
I don't mind. Look, Derek's my guy.
Hey, no,
but I'm just saying, like, throwing a name out there, right?
Yeah.
Like, there are plenty of quality backups in the league that could help out this rotation, right? So you never know.
I mean, we could have Brogdon, and he said no. So that
one hurt. That one hurt.
But I do gotta say,
I can't blame
no, obviously, it shows the guys that went to the finals. They're gonna go there, obviously. But I do gotta say, guys like Thad Young, Koloko, they will come huge this game, and not because they're going to be offensive weapons, but because they do every little thing that you require them to do on the court. Thad Young is your mess cleaner. He is going to be...
And Koloko's doing a lot.
And Koloko
doing a lot.
He's
I like
the
him.
dunk
a
guy.
lot.
His hands are everywhere. The way he runs the floor in transition is phenomenal. But I love Thad Young in a way because I think he puts himself in a position where he knows that he's going to need to be there. He's always cleaning up the mess. The putbacks, he's always going to be there for that. So I think that's a big part of what we had been missing in terms of effort. So hopefully that comes through. But you guys mentioned it. Raptors players, when they go elsewhere, they shine. And Yuta Watanabe has been shining.
Yes.
So he comes back home tomorrow, comes back home to Toronto. He said so before. He loves it there. How do you guys think he's going to be wanting to perform in front of his ex-home crowd?
Well, he's shooting the ball fantastic right now, right?
League right now.
So I'm looking at it. Will he hurt us in that aspect, right?
Like, if I'm a Raptors fan, I'm hoping Utah goes up for a block and gets dunked on once again. How funny would that be?
Koloko posterized.
How funny would that be? Utah getting posterized in Toronto.
That'd be wild. I think we'd feel bad for him though.
Why?
Because we like Utah. We like him.
I would rather Utah had stayed here. Absolutely.
Yeah, no, me too. I think again, when you talk about the depth, when you talk about the bench, he gave us a lot of hustle minutes, a lot of valuable minutes. Right? He won't fill the bucket. Okay, he won't.
No, for sure.
But he gives you an extra added energy.
He's a big boy.
Okay, added energy, and you need that, and that's what Nick Nurse likes. So him coming back here, I think he's gonna have the emotion. This is the team that brought him in the door. I think he's gonna shoot the ball well though, and that might hurt the Raptors. I feel like he might. He's on a nice streak right now.
What would be worse? Raptors getting blown up by the Nets, or Utah hitting a game-winning 3-pointer to win the game?
Utah getting a game winner, 100%.
Yeah, that'd be way worse.
I'm so happy for him.
I'd take the blowout. Those happen, right?
Oh wait, I got the question wrong. Sorry. So, I mean, I would rather him get the game winner because I'd be so happy for him. I'm like, hell yeah, Utah.
Yeah, I would be like, we let that guy go. It would be like, we let him go.
I'd be like Nick Nurse, Masai.
He came back to bite us.
He should have been here the whole time.
Okay.
I'd probably take the blowout. personally.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'm not trying to deal with a game winner.
I'm in between because I'd rather just at that
the
point.
guy that I had, and I let him walk to a division rival.
Hey,
I can let that happen. Hey. Not on my watch.
All right, we're gonna find out who's gonna be hating their life tomorrow. It's gonna be the Brooklyn Nets fans or us, the Raptor fans. But I think Brooklyn Nets have a lot on their plate. We keep forgetting that one's actually not from here. So we're gonna see tonight how the Brooklyn fans and the Philly fans go up against Ben Simmons and his return in Philly. And for that, catch us tomorrow, 3 in the Key.